The moment Jesus took his final breath on the cross, the world did not simply watch in silence. Instead, 5 shocking supernatural events shook the earth and declared that his death was unlike anything that had ever happened before. Scripture tells us in Matthew 27 verses 45 to 54, Luke 23 verses 44 to 45, and Mark 15 verses 33 to 39 that the first miracle unfolded as 3 hours of complete darkness fell over the land from noon until 3 in the afternoon. This wasn't a coincidence, a passing cloud, or a natural eclipse. It was a divine sign that the weight of humanity's sin, judgment, and spiritual brokenness was laid upon Jesus. That darkness revealed the seriousness of sin and the depth of the sacrifice Jesus was making for you and every believer who would come after. Immediately after he cried out and surrendered his spirit, the second supernatural event erupted, a violent earthquake that shook the ground so fiercely that massive rocks split apart. This wasn't just nature reacting. It symbolized the spiritual shaking of the kingdom of darkness. Every barrier that separated humanity from God was being torn down, every stronghold was losing its grip, and the old covenant was giving way to something new and life-changing. Then came the third miracle, one of the most profound signs of all. The temple curtain, a massive veil nearly 60 feet tall and impossibly thick, was ripped from top to bottom at the exact moment of Jesus' death. This veil had separated the Holy of Holies, the place where God's presence dwelled, from the rest of the temple, and only the high priest could enter once a year. By tearing it himself, God declared that through Jesus, every believer now has direct access to him. No priests, no rituals, no annual ceremonies. Christ opened the way for you to walk into God's presence with confidence, forgiveness, and boldness. But the fourth event is perhaps the most astonishing of all. Matthew records that when the earthquake struck, tombs around Jerusalem broke open and many holy people who had died were raised to life. After Jesus' resurrection, these resurrected believers walked into the city and appeared to many, confirming beyond all doubt that Jesus had triumphed over death. Imagine the shock of seeing people you buried years ago suddenly standing before you, alive again, and testifying that the Messiah truly held the keys of life and death. And then came the fifth and final shocking event, the confession of a Roman centurion and the soldiers standing guard at the cross. These men were not followers of Jesus, not Jewish religious leaders, and not emotionally attached to his ministry. They were hardened executioners who had carried out countless crucifixions.